Hi, Erin. How are you tonight? Just trying to cut out my little. I better turn this fan off. You guys won't hear me. Move that to the side. Who else is with me tonight? Hi, Michelle. Yes, Manic Monday it is. Oh my gosh, I am trying to finish packing this craft room. I'm trying to finish packing the craft room. I'm trying to get ready to leave on Saturday. And it's just, everything sometimes is too much. And I'm, making all of this stuff to give out during my presentation that I'm doing. And just not enough hours, I'll tell you. So tonight is, hi Nicole, hi Lee, Cindy, hey everybody, hi Barb. Tonight is it for me as far as my craft room goes. So after my video tonight, my camera is done. Everything is getting packed up. My room is, the rest of this week is packing up my craft room. So then when I get back, it'll all be done. And then hopefully it'll be, the weekend of just trying to finish up odds and ends and stuff like that. Because you'd like to have me out of here, certainly after the first couple of days that I'm back home, getting the last of the stuff done here. But my craft room, like I just finished with my beads and stuff tonight. I have like 60 some odd pokey tools taking with me, 60 dangle charms that I've made. So all of that, I just finished them up today. So now I can focus on just finishing up the packing. We have 25 boxes from my craft room downstairs. These are all huge boxes, 14 by 14 by 14. And I'm still not finished. Hi, Carolyn. So hopefully, I will get the rest done. So tonight, I had kept out some of my art journal stuff. So I thought tonight that maybe we could just do an art journal page. But I thought I'd put a little twist on it. And I pulled up, those of you, I don't know, were you all with me last week when I did the page maps? Was it last week? Oh my gosh, time is crazy. So I thought, why don't I take one of the page maps to seeing, oh, I know, all of my products again. All of my products again. Yeah. I mean, some of it's been in the storage container, like, well, my cookbooks. I have a ton of cookbooks, and somebody says you need to get rid of some of them. Excuse me, no. My cookbooks are. I use my cookbooks all the time, and I and magazines. Like I'm terrible for magazines. I've gotten into the habit of, taking out the recipes I want out of the Food Network and Food and Wine, those things, and then pitching them. Last week, if you weren't with me, I showed you guys this site, pagemaps.com. And they have on there page maps and they also have card maps. So I thought, I know some of you are stuck. Where do I begin, doing an art journal page? I want you to keep in mind that an art journal page is something for you and you alone to enjoy, to play with things, to try things out, because we buy this stuff because we like it. Well, then let's use it somewhere, and an art journal page is the perfect place to do it. But I thought, well, how can I show you guys? Hi, Lori. Hi, Shelley. Hey, everybody I missed up above. Um, so I thought, why not take one of the pages? So these are done every month and they're free. And you can go on and you can print them off. You can print them with a finished layout beside it, giving you an example, or you can print it like this here, a PDF that doesn't have any, you don't get any predispositions in your mind about what you should do because you don't see what's on there. So I thought, well, and then of course there's also the card maps. Now the card maps, hi Dion, the card maps, they only do that one quarterly, but again, they're free and you can print them off and it's a starting point for you. Like really, I will, if I'm stuck, I will look at a page map and then be like, okay, all right, so kind of have an idea where I wanna start. So I thought, well, why not do that? Oops, my video. There we go. Why not do that with one of the page maps and see, what we can create with that. So on the page maps, they quite often will show you two layouts, and then they'll show you, or like a double layout, and then they show you all these different single layouts. And I thought, well, this one's kind of cool, this here, because there's lots of layering there, which is perfect for an art journal page. I'll hold it up there so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And then there's another one on this side that's kind of cool as well. So I thought, well, I'll start with this on one side of the page, and then I'll go over and I will continue using maybe this one or this one on the other side of the page, just to give you an idea of how we can make those page maps work in a layout, or in an art journal. But I thought this one was perfect. So I want to just prepare my background first. And what I did do was I put some of that country crackle on here ahead so that it could dry. I think I put it away. It's our country style crackle. It's a clear crackle. You put it on and then you put your paint on top of it after that, which is the reverse of what we would typically do. So let me just get something to put some of this paint on. And I thought tonight I would work a little bit. Just pulled a handful of stuff out. Remember I said to you, pull out 3 or 4 different things that you maybe want to play with in one night and work with those. If you try to pull out everything you own, you won't accomplish anything. All right? By that I mean, oh, I want a stencil and I want some paint and I want to rub on and I want to transfer and I want a piece of paper and I want to stamp it and I want to blah, 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 blah. And oh, now how do I do all of that? Don't do that to yourself. Take a handful of stuff and just work with that and see what you can create just using a handful of things. So I do have my stamps to the side only because I was sorting them, but I have from the country, what was this one called? Country something. Shoot, I can't think of the name of it. It's the 49 and Market. So I did punch out some sunflowers because I do love sunflowers. And I don't know if you guys have seen that there is a new Stamperia paper that we'll be bringing in. That is the new sunflower line, and it is gorgeous, just gorgeous. So I just pulled out a few pieces here. I was also cutting out a few pieces from the back of the 6x8 pad. Oh, maybe I could see what this one was actually called. Countryside, yeah, it was the Vintage Artistry Countryside. And so, I thought, well, let's just play around with this stuff and see what we get. So I've got some cutouts. I've got this big piece that, I just tossed to the side. I do have some rub-ons here. This is my extra notebook, and I'm doing it in my, this is my 49 and Market. Hi, Shahada. My 49 and Market art journal book that I've used. This one here was the Simon Hurley ink, and then the Simon Hurley lunar paste. Is that not gorgeous? Like, it just is, to me, it's stunning. So I thought, let's do some crackle on here. So I'm just trying to decide whether I want to use Cheddar, which is a Dina Wakley paint, or do I want to use corn? And I'm thinking the corn might be a little better. So, going back to this sample here, I want to get my paint on in the back, and then I'm going to do some placing and see what we come up with that looks similar to that. All right? It's not going to be the exact same thing like that, which I don't want it to be, but I want it to be a starting point for me to add some things. So, as usual, I've got projects still to finish up before I leave on Saturday. I am in the store all week. If any of you are around, pop in and see me. I'm in until Friday, and then I'm away until the following Friday when I'll be back in the store again. So I've put that crackle down, And I didn't do the whole page. I just did just some areas, and I can see exactly where it is because it's shiny there. Hi, Sandy. Two Sandys in a row. You guys always do that. It's like you're in queue or something. So I have a little blob here, but it's kind of cool because it's given me a little bit of a raised look. Now I think maybe I'll do that. Bring this camera down a little closer and focus more on the project. Okay. So I'm going to do it on this side too. And usually I use this country style crackle in my Stamperia notebooks. I have not done it in the 49 and Market books. So I do see it has put a little bit of a wow in my page. So I'm not sure how it's going to look, but it doesn't matter because it's for me. Remember? It's for me. So I just want to get that crackle covered and then let it dry while I think of what else I'm going to be putting in this background. So let's see what happens on this paper. It's definitely a different paper, but I do love these ones because they go nicely in my book. So this should start to move around and crackle, and I'm going to leave that aside for now. So that was the corn, the Allegro paints, which I love because the pigment in them is so great. So, I'll let that dry. I'm going to add some other things into the background. But when I look at this, we've got like 2 strips of something, a little something on the side, and then a bunch of layering on top of that. So, maybe using that as an example, I can use a piece of this sort of down, maybe just a section of it. So I'm going to cut that. Maybe I'll use that on the other side. So that can certainly go down as one of my, the base points. And then, on top of that, they've got like a long strip. So I thought, just quickly looking at that, I pulled out some washi that I thought would be kind of cool to stick on top of it. But I'm going to want to rip that in half. It does have some sunflowers in it. This is the, I don't even know which one this one is. This is the Curator's Botanical. So I'm going to, take a strip of that, and I'm going to put that on top of there as well. And then I've got, as I said, these little pieces here. I've got a milk can, and I've got these gorgeous sunflowers. I've got some little tickets here that I can add. I've got this piece, which I'm going to rough up. I don't like it looking too uniform. But I still, I'm pulling these pieces aside, but I still want to add something else into that background. So, and I think maybe like some brown, like the brown. Yes, it's one of the 49 and Market journals. We do have them in stock as well. I'm just working in the plain ones like this. So I've got that piece roughed up, and do the same with this. There we go. Now my crackle is starting to crackle, which is what we want it to do. So I'm going to think about, I've got the Simon Hurley paints. I've got coffee. This is kind of a country kind of look to it. So I'm wondering what I can ink around the edges with. Let me think for a second. Maybe even just a cream color. I can see what that looks like, because with it being cream, I can always add another color over the top of it. But I need to find a brush that I can use for cream. Let me try this. So that's still crackling. So I think I've mentioned to you guys, like, you know, your brushes, you really don't need to clean them. You can just use a microfiber cloth and clean them up that way. The thing is, at some point you do have to clean them with soap and water when they start to get crusty. This one is a little crusty. And it does have a little brown in it, but that's okay because it's blending quite nicely. Kind of the way I want it to blend. And my crackle is still crackling. Now, I want to be able to see that crackle look. So I may actually shift this over more to this side so I can see that crackle. And then on this side as well, you know, the crackle is, the longer I leave it, the more the crackle is coming through. So now I may add a little blue up in the top to kind of make it look, you know, this is the sun and then some of the sky. I have to see, I have to touch it very lightly with the blue to see if that's the kind of look I'm after or not. So I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to do a little bit of this cerulean blue on there. You do have a blue brush. Let's see how this one goes. So I'm just tapping very lightly because I just want to see what kind of look I'm going to get before I get too heavy-handed with it. Each time I'm going in, I'm pushing down a little harder to get some of those blues. All right, do a little bit on the other side. If you guys have any suggestions, you know, just pop on there and tell me what you think, what you like, what you don't like. But again, bear in mind, you know, that whatever you want to do or try, it's all about you. Okay. I think I'm going to just leave it like that. All right. I have no idea how this is going to look when I'm done. I really don't. But it's playing with my stuff and it's trying things. And you can't be afraid to try things. Okay, so I want to add, I've got my crackle there. I want to add, I also pulled out the Dress My Crafts sheets that I have. These are called the Transfer Me sheets, and they are really cool, and I have a ton of them. And these are transfers that you can just transfer with water, and you slide them off. You can also use them on glass. You can use them on everything. This one just has all kinds of love is happiness, you are my vitamin me, every end is a new beginning. So all different quotes on those ones. We've got, I was looking at this one, but there was another one that I love. This one is called Scripted Diaries. And then I've got, you know, be creative, you're amazing. I may take a quote off of that one. If you can dream it, you can do it. Your eyes show the strength of your soul. So lots of different sentiments there. But I love this brick wall. And I thought I would take a little piece of this and just put it on the edge. And then these guys are cute. These are Chico and Friends. This is just like night sky. Some gold stripes. And then we've got the newest ones that we got in, which are really funky characters. Really cute. Lots of fun. But I'm not using them in this particular one. So I do have, I have 2 sheets of those. But for some reason, this is calling to me. And I think I want to actually add that on. Open this up. And so you just take off what you want. Where do I want to go? Across like that. I've got this really cool section. Now, what I may do is use this, because I did want like a brick wall in there. So I think I might use this brick here instead and go with that one. So let me take that off. It's all right, I'm just going to do this off camera. Like that. All right, so I've got that really cool piece of wall, and then I've got, this piece here. So they will be added on top as the final things on my. So already, see, I changed my mind, and that's okay. So I'm not going to use this brick wall here. I'm using the other one, and that is in the dream door. It is beautiful. So what you do is you cut out your pattern. You take this clear sheet off here. You place that upside down on your surface. You wet it, and then you slide the paper off, and you're done. You can also wet it in water, just like the kids' tattoos. Those wonderful things. All right. Move that stuff out of the way. So going back to my little page map now. Again, we've got the bigger piece. I'm going to put a piece of the tape on there. Now I may, as I said, I wanted that over a little more so I could see some of that there. So I'm wondering if I should just put that down there like that. Which means I need to cut this piece a little smaller. I was just going to rip it, but I'll be nice, I'll cut it, and then I'll distress it. So maybe that piece up there a little more like that. This in the background, like that. So I think I'm ready to start that process, and then, maybe adding that there, and then start incorporating my sunflowers and my other pieces. So, because this piece is going to cross over, let me think. No, I think I'm still okay. I'm going to put this down first. So I'll show you how that goes. Actually, I'm going to cut it a little closer to the pattern. Like that. Like that. Okay, you guys with me? And now I'm going to take this off the back. Come on. Yeah, I had a feeling I was going to do that. I can't get the backing off. There we go. And it's beautiful. Like, look at that. Just gorgeous. So I'm going to put that down in this corner. And you know, you may see other people doing art journaling, and you know, they just stick to the center of their book. I've always been one to cover maybe more than I should, but that's the way I like. That's the way I like to work. And you'll also, you know, like with anybody else, you start to know people's style um, just by looking at their stuff. Where did I put my spray bottle? There it is. I'm going to make sure I'm not spraying with my alcohol ink. And then I want to dab it, make sure it's nice and wet, and then I can start to slide it off. It's a big piece, so sometimes that takes a little bit more getting wet, a little bit more moisture. And there we go. Oops. Corner wasn't wet enough. And there we go. It is pretty. Very pretty. Look at that. Gorgeous. Now, the funny thing is that when I wet where the crackle is, I can do some rubbing, which is kind of neat. Hi, Judy. Hey, Yvonne. So I can rub and take some of the paint off the background, which is giving another whole different look again to the, look at that, to where my crackle is. How cool is that? You like that grungy look? Okay, so now that I have that there, I know that I want to have this piece. All right, so I'm working this section, but I'm kind of working, this is this piece, and now I'm working on this section here from the page maps. So I'm going to stick that down right there like that, my glue. Put that down. Do you like those rub-ons, Yvonne? They're gorgeous. Those are the Dress My Crafts. They're called Transfer Me. We still have quite a few in the store. They keep bringing out new ones. And like I said, I mean, this you can put on coasters, you can put on glass, you can put on windows and mirrors, and you know, you can buy some plain white dishes at IKEA and then add transfers to it and really decorate them nicely. Okay, so I want to put that piece right there. Okay, so I kind of don't like the idea that I can see right across the page like that. So I will be putting something across there, whether it's going to be, you know what, I may do, think of it right now, is take a little ivory paint and dry brush it there. Thinking as I'm going here, ladies. So I'm going to dry my brush. It's still quite wet. I'm going to go grab another brush. I did keep all my brushes out. Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit of the ivory, and I want to just, actually I'm going to do it on the side. So instead of it looking like it's just on its own, it's going to look like it's part of my actual background. And I may do the same across here. A little bit more there. So I'm actually using the side of my brush. And again, I'm just trying to make it look so that that is part of the image and not, oh yeah, that's been plunked on there. So going back to this, now I have that big piece in the back, which is actually my small piece here, and then I want to take something to run down the whole length. And so I'm going to take this washi tape, just ripping it in half. And I'm going to take a section of it, and I want to, I think I'm going to put it right there, like that. Okay, and again, let's just put a little bit of that white over the top of it. Okay, so now I can place some other things on there. Just like this here, you know, there's a piece on the top there, which would be your photos if you were doing this as a layout. But I think I want to just kind of tuck these pieces in like this. What else do I have here? These are going to go on the other side of the page. My sunflowers, my ducks. I do have this little butterfly. All right, so I think kind of liking that bigger piece underneath. I'm liking that idea. What do you guys think like that? So I'm going to rough this edge up. You can either ink your edges, rough it up, whatever you want to do. It's your party, and you can rough it up if you want to. You guys are quiet on there. And bring that down a little bit like that. See, I'm changing my mind again. Rough this one up. So, you know, to take an hour, have a cup of tea, take an hour, play in an art journal, pull out 4 or 5 different things, and work away at something. It's so much fun. It really is. I love going back and looking after. You know, wow, like I like the way that looked, or, you know, next time I would do this a little differently, or next time I would do that a little differently. And then, you know, I don't want this to look too asymmetrical, so I might put that up there. Not liking that. Why don't I do that? And I'm going to put that one in there, like that. Stick that down. Okay. Watching me make magic. I don't know if it's magic, but it's fun. I know that. Now I'm working on a project that I'm trying to complete. My project I showed you guys on Sunday. But this is a piece that's sitting on my table, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of like that to go across there. And it's also going to stop that from looking too stark. But it does need to be inked. So I don't know if I need this in my other project. If I do, well, I'll have to substitute something else because I'm taking it for this one. Because it's kind of perfect. I'm going to glue that one up. And put that along there. Like that. So this is looking more and more and more like that page map. Let me pull that out again so you can see. So there's the page map. You see it all? So I have done this section, which is down here. I've got this, which is this section. Now I've got a piece that's across there like that. So I want to go now to this side. And remember, I've got this beautiful brick wall. That I want to put down. Just have to think of what else I have that I want to put on this page. And maybe just grouping my sunflowers. I have a duck in my little bucket. So this side wouldn't have, you know, as much stuff. Now, in order to sort of make it flow, even though it doesn't have to, it could be two completely different pages. It doesn't have to be like a double, you know, double layout kind of thing. I could put like a little strip of that washi tape on there as well. So the first thing I want to do, I want to get this down. So again, I'm peeling the backing off. Oops. And I'm going to, this wall is going to have to come on this side. I have to do it that way. I'll see what happens after I lift it up. So I'm spraying that with the water. Letting it get really nice and wet. And these sheets are actually pretty cheap. Okay. I still don't have enough water on there. So like I said, I could have soaked this in my tub of water and then, you know, really got the back wet, put it down, and then try to slide it from there. You should be able to, see, take my fingers and just slide along. There it is. There it is. So cool. All right, love it. So now, you know, I don't want to add too much on this side, but I do think, you know, a piece of this tape might even need to be half of that width. Stick that down. Hi, Carol. Oh, that's okay. You can always watch the replay. All right. So I'm kind of liking that look with my sunflowers. Maybe over this way a little bit more, like that. Rid of these pieces that I have all over the place. I also have this, if I wanted to add another piece of this in, again, to sort of counterbalance. Yeah, I think I am going to do that. Just put that piece in there. And you know, didn't have this planned out ahead, so you can see that you can just do it on the fly. Where's my sunflowers? Yeah, so I'm going to stick this piece down. Glue. Oh, thanks, Sandy. We are going to do some art journal classes at the store where you'll get to play with, I may just have like a bunch of die cuts and some tape and stuff there, and you pay a supply fee and you come and we can work together to create. You can create what you want, but we will work it through together with ideas and just playing. Oh, I like that. And I want to include him because he's so cute. All right, so I'll put this can down first. No can on there. And then my sunflowers. I love the sunflowers too. I'm looking forward to the new Stamperia coming in with the sunflowers. Put that one there. So you're just creating a scene. That's all we're doing. That one in there. I'll put my little goose, duck, whatever he is, down there. I don't wanted him under that leaf. There we go, like that. Okay. So then I thought, let's put a little, where's that other one? There was some phrases on the other one that I thought I really liked. Look again. When I'm done this class, this all gets packed up as well. Trying to find the other sentiments in here. Here we go. That one. My heart is I love my crazy husband. I don't want to share you. That's not what I'm looking for. This one. If you can dream it, you can do it. I think. Stay positive, good vibes. Let me see. No, you know what? This isn't really going with it. I'll have to look up some quote to put on here. I can do that after. I couldn't get it ready because I didn't know what I was creating. Oops, hold on. Maybe it was one of these ones. We only have a few hundred of them. No, I don't think it's in there. Okay, so we'll just stick with this idea. And then, you know, I do have some film strip here. I can always add a little piece of film strip in the back. I'm going to take one out just to see what it looks like. No. Nope, nope, nope. For sure, that's a no. And I do have a rub-on sheet, and I do kind of like this piece. There. Take two of those. Take two of those and call me in the morning. Move them up there. I don't know where my rub-on. Oh, I've got this one. Yes. Oh, fingers. Oh, it's, Deb, as I said, I mean, I just took that page maps and kind of used that as a guideline and then just went from there and just, you know, you just add. The more you do it, the more comfortable you are with what you are doing. Not what I'm doing, but what you are doing. And if you like it. So, you know, we'll do some classes. We'll get you guys feeling more comfortable playing with stuff and not being afraid. Because that's really what it's about. See now, those Transfer Me, they tell you to cut it very close to the design. And that's so you don't have like that overhang like I've got there that I can see that I do not like. But see, I can't really add this there. It's just stuck in the middle of nowhere. I don't want to do that. A little ticket in there. There. And a little piece under there. So when you're gluing your bigger pieces down, don't glue right to the edge so that after you can tuck things in just to add a little bit of whatever here and there. So I am pretty well done. You know, that's the other thing is to know when enough is enough, because we will also keep going and going and going. And I cover a lot more than most people who art journal. I cover a lot more of my page than most do, just because that's, like I said, that's the way I like to do it. But you can certainly just do, you know, even just that on the page. But I really wanted to add this piece in. Now, the last thing I want to do, because this is a dark piece, I want to do a splatter and maybe a black. I've got black, blue, or even a dark brown. What do I have in this bucket? Can't see with it up there. I don't think I've got a black. Well, then we're going to splatter it. And I don't know where my ink is, my other ink. So we're just going to splatter, I think, everything's falling over. That's an aqua color. Let me see how This will do. I don't know how this is going to dry, but that's the way it's going to end. Oh, thank you. Thanks, everybody. You will get there, Deb. It's not in your comfort zone. When to stop. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, exactly. It's not going in a museum, and it is your piece. So that brown is going to dry, and it looks like fly splatter, and it's getting much lighter because I used the agua color. So it is mostly water with pigment, so it dries a lot lighter. I could have sprayed it, but I wanted the droplets more than anything else. So, there's a couple of places where it is on the transfer. It's taking longer to dry, so I'm just blotting it there. There we go. It is as complete as I want it to be. There are the 2 pages that I showed you tonight. And yeah, they do finish off a project, and it doesn't have to be white. This is a darker piece, so I wanted to go with a darker color. If I had black, I would have done black, but brown is great as well because there's a lot of brown in the piece. And I think that's it. This could have been tucked in a little further under there because it's just kind of. I don't think I can lift it. If I could, I would put it a little further under because you see how it's sort of, away from everything else. The other thing I could do is try to slide something in here, but I'm going to leave it like that. And again, learned something, bring these pieces in a little closer to each other. So that is it for me for tonight, ladies. And that is it for me. Oh, there's, again, one of the other ones I've done, and a 1-page kind of spread I did on here. So this is strictly my 49 and Market book. My other stamp period book is full. I've got to get another one from the store tomorrow. But I am done. I'm done until probably, I leave on Saturday, so there will not be any live on Sunday. I may do a live from Kansas City because I have to bring my camera with me. So I may do something there, just very brief. Otherwise, so I leave on Saturday, I arrive back on Thursday. The week that I'm away, all the new Simple Stories will come in. So that, not this Sunday, the following Sunday, we'll go through all of that new Simple Stories with you as well. At that point, I don't know, maybe the Stamperia might be in then. Oh, the new Elizabeth Craft, Annette Green, they should be in by the end of this week, beginning of next week as well. Some of you have already signed up for that. And I think that's it for now. I am going to see all kinds of new product again. I just can't stay on top of all of it. There's so much coming through so quickly. But I will have fun. I will share lots with you guys when I get back. You're going to BC for a week. Okay. So, yeah, it's getting into vacation time for people, isn't it? So, everybody, take care. I will touch base with you. The girls will still be up. What day is this? What day is this? This is Monday. See, Manic Monday. I don't know who's up tomorrow. And then one of the girls is up on Wednesday. And then Nancy is up next week when I'm away. So that's it for me. Anyway, I can keep babbling on and on and on. So have a good night, everybody. Take care. Stay safe. Keep creating. Bye now.